Thanks for joining us here today. It's been 3 years since we've been able to come to this event. It got cancelled for the Olympics because this area was used for Olympic related stuff. Obviously for the past 2 years we haven't been able to run it. Love Live characters seem to be slightly falling in popularity, maybe? I don't know, there might be a different section. This is a 4-door GTR. This is a Toyota Platz. It's like a headlight cancel and full wrap. Yeah, the interior is still dead stock, but the rest of it really sticks out. I get the feeling this kind of look would be more palatable overseas compared to the typical Itasha look. Alright, so this next section is all Hatsune Miku, who is for some reason still popular. So if you've ever seen the Itasha videos before, you'll know, but I'll tell you again. Hatsune Miku is a virtual idol who started off as like a voice software that you could make your own songs with. But her voice, for some reason, was almost perfect for anime style songs and remixes. And she became very popular. She had her own live performances with these holograms. If you remember the concert with Snoop Dogg and the hologram Tupac, they've had concerts like that. Actually, many concerts like that with Miku up on stage, and they're very popular. I think recently they just had one recently. Finally, they were able to have one. And as you can see, there is a lot of merch you can collect and decorate. Okay, this one's a bit more subtle. One version of Hatsune Miku is Snow Miku, like a snow version. And he has the snow pattern wheels. That's a good touch. S15. You go the K11 March. When you take off the sticker and it just sort of looks like a club spec racing car, doesn't it? This is Kana from Miss Kobayashi Dragon Maid. Now, Kana is one of those, on the internet they joke about, it's a 600-year-old dragon, witch, but she looks like she's 7. Well, that's literally what she is. Tiny little Honda Beat K car towing a equally tiny little Motocompo. Now I think that these characters on this particular car are like anthropomorphized versions of the car itself. So if you look at the one on the girl on the Motocompo, she has the Motocompo handles for like antennas and the key in the back of her head. These are and the key goes there, so it's like a human version of a Motocompo. I don't know what the load towing capacity for a Beat is, but I'm gonna guess that that's about it. So it's fairly popular to swap the engines and wheels and suspension on these things to something from a bigger bike, which you can legally do because these little 50cc's don't have any kind of inspection, so you can kind of get away with it. And this one's been converted with an electric rear hub. And the character on this one is from an anime called Bakuon, which is all about, I haven't read it, but I think it's about like a group of high school girls who all ride sports bikes, which is a parody of another popular anime called K-On, which is about a group of high school girls in a high school band. So there's many layers upon layers upon layers in these cars. Well, I mean, sometimes it's just I like girl put on car, but other times there's a lot of parody and in jokes. Alright, this Hi-Jet is, like I was saying before, like a layer of parody. Shinohara is the fictional company from Patlabor. And it's been made up to look like a fairly typical sort of Tokyo Electric service vehicle. This is a good little touch too. This crow here is from one of the movies, and it was the crow that belonged to the main antagonist. Alright, this Subaru Legacy, it's got the classic Subaru World Rally livery on it, but I believe it's been done up as a Girls and Panzer car. So, Girls and Panzer, as the name suggests, if you don't know, is about a bunch of high school girls who, instead of, playing volleyball or something like that for their school sport, have battles with tanks, like World War II tanks. Who is Brian Narita? Is this one of those? Oh, okay. Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah, there's horses on it. So it's actually set up as a wheelchair vehicle. So this is a Mazda Carol. And I'm guessing that the driver of this car needs it to be wheelchair accessible for some family personal reason. But at the same time, he's decorated up with characters from Uma Musume. Now, what does that mean in Japanese? Well, Uma means horse, and Musume means girl. And it's a series that became popular recently. It's been pushed really hard by the company that did it. There's mobile phone games and all sorts of promotions and stuff like that. And essentially, the characters in there are named after real racehorses, like famous racehorses, many of which are still alive. Manhattan Cafe. So her name is Manhattan Cafe, Biwa Hayahide. So just like overseas, racehorses in Japan also have weird names on purpose. Agnes Tachyon. I'm not even kidding. I mean, I think it might be safe to say this is probably the most unique car in Japan right now. There is maybe no car weirder than this. Which is a big call, I know. It's good to see Yazawa Nikko still popular. I think Love Live is not seeing as many cars here anymore. Well, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see by the end of the day who is the most popular. Once again, Saber from Fate, insert word here. This is Tiamat, again from the same series. So Hatsune Miku is not only found on Itasha, she is also found on actual GT racing cars in Japan by Good Smile Racing. Now, Good Smile also make a lot of these sorts of products, merchandising for Miku and stuff like that. And the GT car is actually driven by one of my favorite drivers, Nobuteru Taniguchi. So the character has various evolutions over the years. There's a lot of different designs. Always with the signature pigtails. If you do have one of these cars, the ideal number plate to get is this plate here, 3939, if you can get 3939, because 3 in Japanese, 3 you can pronounce it mi, 9 is ku, so Miku Miku. So if you have a Miku car, that's the number plate that you want. See, once again, look. Miku Miku. Various evolutions of the character. You know, it's a constant thing that they do. New outfits, new designs. But the standard sort of colors for her are this blue and pink and this outfit. I'm pretty sure that the most, maybe if not the most popular, at least the one with the most explosive growth here at this year's HoloLive characters. Now, if you don't know what a VTuber is, I don't even know how to start explaining it. I've tried to do it before, but it never comes out right. But it will be... Okay, well, it's not Kirby. By the way, this is a real drift car. See all the marks on the door from drifting? I see this car at Nico quite a lot. Nice chaser with all the TRD parts on it. Yeah, these American-style custom sports bikes are not uncommon to see, especially on weekends. So here we have a VIP-style Aristo slammed on Abflug wheels, but instead of just being straight black, it has Agnes Tachyon on it and this Porsche-style front bumper, which suits it pretty well, I think. Never thought I'd see a Viper here at an Itasha show, but here we are. It's about as red, white and blue as you can get. The character on this one, from a series called Princess Connect, which apparently is a role-playing game, which I've never heard of. Obviously this guy has. Without the design on it, a very cool looking Audi. I know some people think adding Emilia on it would add to the way it looks. Still though, pretty serious car in its own right. There you go, another Euro. Matsuri from HoloLive. And once again, like a lot of the cars we saw at the last show, lots of nice big bolt-on parts, although I think he might want to change these rotors sometime soon. Alright, maybe he's been using the car hard. Look, it has a roll cage. And some fairly serious hand-cooked rubber that looks like it's been very well used. So, yeah, look at all the damage there on the wrap. So, this is a real track spec M3 that happens to be an Itasha as well. Imagine being overtaken by this on the track. Imagine this guy late braking and like sliding around the outside of you. And I guess that'd be just like another day in Forza. Don't really see too many alphas either. Cisse from HoloLive, and also once again, look at this. Big brake kit and very well used Duretzes. An import style Integra with the K-On girls on it. So K-On, that was popular like when I first moved to Japan. What series is this? Alright, I had to look this one up. So on this, I know it's a Daihatsu, it's a Mira Gino, but I had to look it up on my phone. This is from a series called Aikatsu, and it's an arcade game with collectible cards, and I'm reading this off Wikipedia right now. The game revolves around using collectible cards featuring various clothes to help aspiring idols pass auditions. And there was an anime for it as well, apparently. I think one of the nicest touches are the painted strawberry wheels. Arashi. These are fairly popular in the Love Live world. These are called nesoberi, which means, I believe, to lie down, which is what they are doing. This character was from some kind of, I thought, quite esoteric anime that came out a while ago. As you can see, she has prosthetic hands, and her job, I think, is to, I think I might get this wrong, to write letters from humans, and like from that she learns what it is to be human or something like that. I don't know. I tried watching it, I couldn't really get into it. Is that, it is. Sakura Taisen X Trail. That's cool. Man, Sakura Taisen hasn't been around for a while. Yeah, really cool. The characters were very distinct, and some of the games that were out for it were really cool as well. This is a Suzuki Wagon R, and this one's been done up in the Arc Knight series. And look at this, he's got a Arc Knights written in katakana in the hood there. So I'm guessing that lights up at night. And full interior as well. So this style would have been called dress up back in the day. This style of car, but now it's Itasha. You can see there's a lot of different sort of styles that these cars can go for. I mean, the classic angled up from the front wheels tends to work pretty well on these smaller styles of cars. Accord wagons were also popular in the same sort of time as that Suzuki was. They have a small cult following, but it is very cult. I'm trying to spot where the Ita is on this V-dub. Ah, here we go, rear window. Ah, so very, very subtle on the rear window. Can you see it? Difficult to see, that's Lammy from HoloLive. It seems that the Euro guys like to be a little bit less ostentatious with their designs. Which is understandable because modern European cars look pretty good without anything on them at all. Once again, Fubuki from HoloLive. Honda Forza scooter with Lucky Star, a series that arguably kicked off a new age of anime back in the early 2000s. One thing I think it's cool is when they take like a very small particular part in a series and make it their entire subject. So Devil Homura from the Madoka series. Another Wagon R. Looks very simple from the side, but go around the back. And it's his favorite girl, Ritsu from K-On! I don't know, what do you think? Would this be like an anti-road rage thing? Like if you're driving behind this car and you saw that in the rearview mirror, what would you do? Do you think it'd make you less likely to rage at the car in front or more? Uh-oh, here we go. One thing I do find is that fans of Rem from ReZero are fairly obsessive. Now, what is the appeal of this particular character? Well, so to explain the appeal of a character like Rem, it's sort of like, hey guys, do you want a girlfriend who is cute and also a maid and can also fight demons and stuff and is also a demon? Well, cool, here you go, here she is. Oh, also, there's another one of them, there's two of them. She has a twin. She looks at you. Look at this, she has those eyes where they track you. She is also judging you for watching this video. Rem has seen things. And whatever you're into, do you like girls who are also bunnies or girls who are also cats? It's all up to you. The choices are wide open. All right, here's another Alto Works, once again in Uma Musume. This time it is Mejiro Doba. Now remember, these are all real horses and some of them are still alive. Like imagine if a cartoon came out with characters called like Seabiscuit and Farlap, and there were girls wearing maid outfits. Oh, and by the way, they do actually have races in the series as well, and they run wearing these outfits. And this is a mobile game, by the way. Yeah, also the horse girls sing as well, like they're idol singers. Now I would like this Aristo, but unfortunately it's Asuka Shinikami Langley. It's the newer version of Asuka, which I don't like. I like the older version. Still though, kind of cool. Working? Wow, I never thought I'd see Itasha for working. So this is a series that's set in a family restaurant. It's kind of cool. Salt Lake style SVX. Willie's Jeep. It has all the information on there in English. So a lot of the Jeeps you see in Japan were originally built in Japan after the war. Yakunara Magukappu mo. Don't tell me this is an anime about... Oh, it is. So this is an anime about pottery. If you're sort of thinking, man, it sounds like there's a high school girls do, you know, insert activity here, anime or manga for everything, you're right. And this one is about pottery. There is a niche anime for absolutely everything out there. And the genius of that is when they make merchandise, they can just make the cups and people will buy them. As you can see, running. All right, horses everywhere. Oh, that's why there was a car before with rice shower written on it. It's the name of one of the horses. Aha. I don't know, I guess rice shower is popular. I don't really follow Uma Musume. You got horses in the back. Brand new GR Yaris. Given a rice shower. This guy is actually playing a horse race being called through the stereo. Now, why would suddenly, you know, a game and anime about horses, like horse racing, become so popular? I don't know. I'm just guessing and say it could be the fact that you know, the horse racing industry has a decent bit of money that they can spend on, you know, promotion, and in this case it seems to have worked pretty well. This is a Daihatsu Essay, and I believe that when the Essay was sold at the time, it was the cheapest car you could buy. And so for that reason, there's a lot of them. And I don't know, I think they look kind of cool. Look at this entire section full of them. I didn't know it had blown up like this. I mean, it's been 3 years since there's been one of these shows. So I guess tastes have changed during that time. Matikane Tannhauser. Yeah, like I said, the names of horses over here are just as ridiculous as they are overseas. And here's an unholy combination of racing and Itasha, which honestly, this works really well. Scissor doors is still a thing. Actually, that's a smart idea. On the scissor door, so you can put the character on there. Normally it would look like that, but then when you open the scissor doors, they stand up straight. That's a good idea. That's clever, I like that. So this row from the Nijisanji VTuber group. There's two main groups in Japan, Nijisanji and Hololive. And I could be wrong, but I think Hololive was the second one to start, but has become arguably more popular in the mainstream, as far as mainstream goes for these sorts of things. So VTubers, there's many of them. There's many different personalities and character designs. There's VTubers that are god-level interstellar beings who could destroy the world accidentally if they make a mistake. and other ones who are basically a human version of a dog or a cat and like to play video games. So whatever your tastes are, you can find something. So Toyota Pro Box with the TRD livery on it, but it's Rosen Maiden, which was a huge internet meme back in the early 2000s, if you're on 4chan. Non Biori, wow, okay. What do you think? Crowns suit the Itasha look pretty well, I think. Aha, we're back with the famous Hosho Marine 4-door R34. He's, unfortunately, he's had to change the wheels. He said he had to sell the 19s. So these ones, they still look okay. They suit the car, but I think the older ones look better. Apparently he said he's going to be getting the rest of the car wrapped soon as well. So yeah, some of these cars are done in a similar way to how you'd get tattoos done. You do the main design first and then do the rest of the car when you have money. Because a full wrap like this can cost anywhere from, depending on the design and how complicated it is, between like $4,000 to $6,000 on average for a full car wrap. So if you don't want to get it all done in one go, which is understandable. So even just like, front, side, and on the bonnet is like $3,000 to $6,000. And then you've got things like the roof and the windows and the boot lid, like for a good one. For the good full color, full wraps, something like this would be a bit less expensive because you're using existing art and the design's pretty simple and it's like die cut and easy to apply. So that'd be cheaper. So if you look really close, you can see this is like an upscaled image. If you look really close. So if the design is simple, it won't cost too much. So this Mazda has been done up in the old Mazda Astina race car livery. Well, it's like inspired by that. It was an old Mazda Astina race car which had a similar design to this. But this one has Nino from Hololive on it. Kirby car. Actually, that would have been a good meme for this year, to make a Kirby looking car, wouldn't it? Like just wrap the top half in pink. Who is this? Oh, that's Burst Angel. Oh, geez, okay. I remember that. Burst Angel had a character that looked like a cowgirl. I remember that one. I don't remember this one. I'm loving this absolute like confliction of what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing. It's great. Like anime and cars and late 1990s dance music. I'm having a good time right now, I gotta tell you. Alright, here's a weird one. Benz with Horo. I think they remade Spice and Wolf fairly recently. Right, so there's a new series of Spice and Wolf coming out soon. And Holo the Wolf Girl, very popular. A little bit more wholesome maybe than your average one of these sorts of characters. Is Sword Art Online still popular? I know it became quite popular overseas for a while. Wait, is this Alice from Niji Sanji? Yeah, Alice, the whole look of Alice from Alice in Wonderland is very popular in Japan in general. And, because it's out of copyright, she's out of copyright, so it's kind of easy to use if you want. And yeah, this one is from Niji Sanji, another virtual Sorry, another VTuber. What would you do if you pulled up to the campsite and you saw a Xenoblade Hilux parked there? Oh, yeah, that's not a Hilux, it's a Nissan. Nice chaser. On, let's see, as a car person, I have to point out the nice new SSRs and the Supra brake conversion. I think everyone else here today, you know, would prefer to look at the Nijisanji wrap. Mark II wagon, also on brand new SSRs. This is interesting. Mazda brakes. Looks like he's had to shave a bit off there to fit those wheels though. Yeah, I do like it when the cars have those little, you know, little name brand bolt-on parts. It does add a lot to them. You know, it's not just a regular car with stuff stuck on it, you know? Or at least if they make it look like a race car. One thing that has kind of fallen out of fashion is accessories. See how this guy's got the BMX on the top? Like, there was sort of a thing going for a while where people had, you know, snowboards and things like that on their roof racks that were also wrapped to match the car. I think it might make a comeback soon, but I don't know, we'll see. This is a Toyota Fun Cargo. Similar car to a Yaris or an Echo. We saw this Supra last time in Nagano. Yeah, Fun Cargo, similar to the Vitz as a base car, just big in the back. Ooh, another chaser. Diver Diva. This is another Love Live car, and similar to IRL idol groups, they often will have these like subgroups of 2 or 3 of the characters that they'll, you know, push because they have some sort of good chemistry or, you know, contrast to them or something like that. It is indeed a rabbit hole that is easy to fall down. This character's name is Subaru, but she is on a Roadster. Also, probably a lot of you already know this, but Subaru is the Japanese name for the Pleiades star cluster. So it's not just the car brand. Oh, what is that? Why is there a Civic here with nothing on it? Well, you've just been overtaken by this on the racetrack. Right, this being a Civic, right? He hit the brakes really late, went up the inside, pulled around you. Because he's lightweight, he's already on the gas, and he pulls away, and you have high school girls laughing at you. Just imagine that. So this Aristo, as you can see, some of these cars will borrow, you know, themes from other tuning car styles. Kawaii fitment. So instead of, you know, camber gang or something like that, it's cute fitment. And this one has Ayame from HoloLive. Yodazo. Sakura Miko. Now, I don't even know what this is. It's a Toyota. All right, my knowledge is failing me right now. It looks, I thought it was a Daihatsu, but it's not. What is this? Toyota. I'm just gonna guess that this was a rebadged Daihatsu with Toyota's name on it. This is very retro. Votoms. Oh, very classy indeed.
Hope you enjoyed part 1 of Itasha Tengoku 2022. Don't miss part 2 where I reveal the Norio Itasha that I entered in this show. Hit subscribe so you don't miss that, and check out these other Itasha videos on the channel. And as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.
Is modello time essay? Oh, wrong essay.